There is no such thing as a bad emotion, and it is your labeling that you continuously call it bad or you think it's negative is what perpetuates it. The whole labels of good and bad when it comes to emotions particularly is what perpetuates suffering. I'm going to dive into this a little bit deeper. So up until this point, you've probably been conditioned to believe that certain emotions are bad and certain emotions are good. Okay, emotions like anger, sadness, grief, regret, resentment, all sorts of things like this. You see those emotions as bad, and then emotions like happiness, love, gratitude, joy, all those sorts of emotions, you see those as good. Okay, now what this does is it creates a divide within you. Certain emotions are welcome, certain emotions are not. Okay, if it's a positive emotion, what you label as positive, you welcome it, you embrace it, you allow it to be there. But if it's negative, no, you don't want to feel that. You don't want to experience that. And so you have this innate resistance towards it. Now, I'm making this video to tell you that there is no such thing as a bad emotion. Emotion, by definition, is literally energy in motion. Energy in motion, okay? Emotion, energy in motion. And when you look at it like this and when you realize that's all it is, emotions are just energy in motion, then you start to realize that the labeling that you project onto these emotions doesn't actually serve you. What good does it do for you to call or label a specific emotion negative, bad, etc.? All it does is create resistance within you and make you have a relationship towards that emotion of, not allowing it to be welcome. You look at this emotion as something that is unwanted. You look at this emotion as something that you want to get rid of or you want to escape from. Okay, and now this is a major cause of suffering in people. So many people are in a constant state of escapism. They want to run away from their negative emotions. They want to run away from their negative thoughts. They just in general want to get away from their quote unquote negative internal experience. But the reality is the experience internally is only negative if you label it so. If you would just allow yourself to experience this quote unquote negative emotion within your physical body without having so much resistance towards it, without wishing it wasn't there, without condemning it, without judging it, without doing all these things that make it feel unwelcome, your experience would be completely different. Let's say there's person A and person B. Person A's relationship towards their emotions are that of only accepting the positive and completely neglecting and resisting the negative. And person B has a relationship towards both positive and negative emotions because he's transcended duality of complete, embrace. Any emotion that comes up, he knows that is the correct emotion for the present moment. It's perfect as it is, and he embraces and accepts it. Person A, when he has a negative emotion come up, he's like, oh no, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to experience this. I don't want to, be with this emotion. And so he pushes it down, he represses it, or he uses something to escape it, or he tries to numb it, right? So literally his relationship with his negative emotions, which is extremely unhealthy, causes him to engage in self-destructive patterns and, self-sabotaging behavior. In comparison to person B, who, when a negative emotion comes up, he just says, okay, there's grief within my body right now. I'm going to allow myself to process it. I'm going to allow myself to feel this emotion, okay? The old saying, you have to feel it to heal it, it's very true. But in order to feel it, you need to accept it. And if you can't accept it, you're not going to be able to feel it. For a lot of people, the thing that prevents them from actually processing their emotions isn't the fact that they can't process the emotion itself, it's the fact that they can't get past the resistance. So many people have initial resistance towards specific emotions. Oh, anger, I don't want to feel that. Sadness, I don't want to feel that. Grief, oh no, I don't want to feel that. And this resistance is preventing you from actually processing the thing. And you might be thinking, well, Ricky, man, of course I don't want to feel negative emotions. Who wants to feel bad? But this is the paradox. If you don't feel an emotion, if you don't allow yourself to process it, it doesn't just disappear. It gets repressed or suppressed within the body. And what you resist persists. That's a bit of a tongue twister. But if you have an emotion where you're not allowing yourself to feel it, you're pushing it down, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't just disappear. It goes into the depths of your psyche. It, you know, goes into the field of the unconscious, but then it multiplies and it gets stronger. And then it shows up in even more intensity, in even more frequency. And you wonder why you're constantly running away and you're constantly needing to escape those negative emotions. You never allowed yourself to actually process them. I know so many people who have been through, you know, significant events in their life, and they have never sat with the emotions from that event, and they're still running 10 years later. They cannot sit in silence. They're in this constant loop of escapism. And I'm here to tell you today that you will not live a peaceful life if you can't face what you're running from. The day you turn around and face that dragon, metaphorically speaking, you know, the dragon representing the emotions, the moment you turn around and face the dragon is the moment you're actually able to overcome it, but you will not outrun it. And it all starts with your relationship towards your thoughts and emotions, particularly emotions in this case. If you have a relationship towards negative emotions, that you don't allow yourself to feel them, you don't allow yourself to process them, or you just in general are in complete resistance to them, I'm here to tell you that you will run away from these things for the rest of your life. You will constantly need to escape them. You will constantly need to distract yourself to try and, you know, avoid them. And you'll constantly need to engage in things to numb yourself from them. Do you want to live a life like that, where you're just running away from this shit? No, you don't. So start by understanding that all emotions are perfect and are completely okay exactly as they are. Okay, if you are doing something, or walking somewhere, whatever, and you have an emotion come up and it's sadness, beautiful. That's exactly what you're going to experience, and you're going to allow your physical body to process that. If you experience happiness, also beautiful. If you experience grief, also beautiful. It's all beautiful. The entire internal experience is beautiful, and this clinging to the positive and the resisting of the negative, it's causing you to suffer immensely. And the catch-22 is it's completely avoidable. You don't need to suffer your emotions. But the fact that you're clinging to the positive and resisting the negative is why you're suffering. I'm writing an entire book on self-realization, consciousness, self-awareness, all this stuff. I'm writing a book on it. And I literally wrote a chapter this morning, and it just made me think, and I was like, man, it is such an epidemic that people have such a negative relationship towards their negative emotions. And I remember in my journey, when I started to accept and embrace all emotions, not just the good ones, is when I started to gain true internal liberation. And I was like, what? You're telling me all I had to do all this time to quote unquote get away, or to, a better word, to process these negative emotions, was to just allow myself to feel them? Like, it's right under our nose, but it's so looked past. We will do anything but face our emotions. There's a great quote in the book, Letting Go by Dr. David Hawkins, which says, people will do anything but face their own internal experience. They will go bungee jumping. They will get all this sort of therapy. They will try, like they will literally, maybe therapy is not the best example because a lot of therapies make you face your emotions. But the point is, most people will do anything but face their internal experience. They will do anything to avoid facing these emotions. But in facing them is where you gain your liberation. But in order to be able to face them, you need to understand that they are not bad. They are not bad. I don't care if it's anger, sadness, grief, hurt, guilt, shame, whatever the negative emotion is that society has told you is negative. It is not negative. It is just energy in motion. And the more that you can embrace these things, the more liberation you will have internally. So please, I don't just want you to listen to this video, turn it off and go on about your day exactly as you are. I want this video to change you for the better. I want you now to embrace any and all emotions that come up, whether it be positive or negative. And like right now, let's leave those labels behind. That it's bullshit. It's based in duality. It keeps you trapped in the internal war. There is no good or bad. It just is. Emotions just are, just like thoughts. They just are. And when you can observe them from a neutral perspective without the need to label them, without the need to judge them, resist them, or cling to them, that is when you start to gain your freedom from them. this freedom, it is available to anyone who can understand and apply these certain principles. But so many people are caught up in this Western conditioning, this conditioning that firstly, you are your thoughts and emotions. No, you're not. They are caught up in judging their thoughts and emotions. That's just another level of mind identification. They are caught up in resistance towards their thoughts and emotions. What we resist persists. And they are caught up in clinging to their thoughts and emotions. Clinging creates a preference, which then creates resistance in the next emotion that comes up. Or it also creates suffering in the sense of when you cling to something internal, like a positive emotion, when it goes away, you feel let down. The whole mantra of this too shall pass, it's very true. Everything comes and goes, like clouds in the sky. And if you cling to a cloud and you want that cloud to stay around, when it inevitably leaves, you're going to be left feeling upset and hard done by. In comparison, if you were just able to watch and observe any and all emotions and thoughts that appear within the body without judgment, resistance, clinging, or identification, then you are going to have this state of peace, which is undisturbable, regardless of where you are, what you're doing, whatever. You are able to tap into this, and it is so powerful. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I could talk about this topic for hours and hours and hours and hours. I will make more videos on this sort of stuff. As I said, I'm literally writing a book on it. So I'm very well obsessed with this topic and very well versed in it. But for now, I just want you guys to just go away from this video with one simple task. Start treating your emotions with more love. Okay, accept them. But rather than accept them, because accepting them is more like neutral, I want you to embrace them. Think of emotions almost like children. Okay, now think of it like this. If there's a child, right? What does a child need more than anything? Right? You might say love. Yes, that's a big one. You might say attention. Yes, that's another big one. But one of the core needs of a child is safety. In the same way, your emotions need safety. They need to feel safe in order to present themselves. A lot of people, particularly men, have told me that they're in these states of apathy. Now, for those who don't know, apathy is it's like a state where you just don't feel anything. And the reason these men are in this state, and some women, is because their emotions, this energy within them, doesn't feel safe enough for it to present itself to the person, in order for them to process it. Because every time it's done so in the past, it's been met with escapism, avoidance, or numbing. Okay, so you need to create an internal environment where your emotions feel safe to present themselves to you, and then you can process them and you can feel them and you can heal them, and then you can become liberated from them, sorry. But up until you do this, you are just constantly running and you're always in this state of escapism. And also, I want to highlight a key point here for the men who have resistance towards emotions. To be honest, if you're watching this video, you probably don't, because you're already this far. But it doesn't make you weak, bro. That whole mentality, that whole ideology around, it's weak to have emotions or whatever, it's so fucking stupid. We all have emotions. If you are human, you have emotions, okay? I don't care who you are. You could be a fucking 300 kilo full of muscle bikie, or you could be a 60-pound pope. I don't care who you are, what you're engaged in life, you have emotions within your body. You are susceptible to that. And so you need to form and create a healthy relationship towards them. Because if you don't, you will constantly be in this loop of fucking hell. So, key summaries here. Emotions are just energy in motion. Okay, that's all it is. There's no good or bad emotions. And your labels on your emotions are the thing that's actually causing you to suffer. So you need to transcend that and understand all emotion is just energy. You need to not only accept your emotions, but embrace them wholeheartedly. Show them love. I know that might feel weird to you guys, maybe if you've never done that before, but if you have an emotion, especially if it's grief or sadness or something that is perceived as negative by society's standards, Western society standards, I want you to show it love. It's not normal for us to do this. I know it's out of the ordinary. When I started doing it, I was like, this is very different. But when you start, you're like, whoa, this gives me so much more power over them. You know, I used to be the guy, man. I literally used to be the poster boy for like apathy. Oh, I don't feel anything. Fuck, all that feeling shit's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. I grew up and I realized that, you know, all that thing is like a facade. Oh, I'm so tough. I don't need much. Shut the fuck up. It's bullshit. It's a facade. And if you've got the facade, you know deep down it's a facade. So allow yourself to feel your emotions, process your emotions, heal your emotions. And in the process of doing so, you unlock more of who you are. You can't express yourself authentically. You can't be who you are meant to be if you're held down energetically by the emotions you're not allowing yourself to process. So form a habit where you genuinely sit down every single day, sit with your thoughts and emotions, and just allow yourself to be with them. With no judgment, no resistance, no clinging, and no identification. By the way, they are the 4 golden rules of awareness. Whole chapter on it in my upcoming book. Guys, I hope you got a ton of value from this. I hope this genuinely improves your life, like in every domain. Not only for yourself, but also for all those who interact with you. Because when we have a healthier relationship with our thoughts and emotions, we can show up as a better us for the people around us. So guys, give it a like, give it a comment. I'd love some comments. Let me know what you guys think. The likes let me know that you guys like these videos, and if you feel like your friends or family or whatever could get value from this video, feel free to share it with them. If you want to see more stuff like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel or podcast wherever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next one. If you guys do want to connect with me on Instagram as well, my Instagram is my name. The name is the same name as my YouTube channel. So Ricky Gorsey, just reach out on Insta, we can have a chat. And yeah, if you want to talk about, you know, anything, or you're interested in coaching, the men's self-development community, or just in general want to have a conversation, I'm more than open to have that. Thank you guys, and I will see you on the next one.